Well, so many Americans are struggling with high prices for just about everything this holiday season. President Biden making this declaration while calling into the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
What's your message to the American folks on this Thanksgiving Day?
My message is, after 2 years, you're back. America's back. There's nothing we're unable to overcome, Al.
Well, those comments come as the president and his family spend their Thanksgiving holiday at a billionaire's compound in Nantucket. Now, that led Republicans to slam him as out of touch, and he's not the only one. Progressive Senator Elizabeth Warren got torched on Twitter for claiming to know the real reason for inflation, tweeting this: "Wondering why your Thanksgiving groceries cost more this year? It's because greedy corporations are charging Americans extra to keep their stock prices high. This is outrageous." Steve, I want to talk about the president first. He is right to say that Americans can overcome everything, but I think there's a lot of people out there that would say America would be back a heck of a lot faster if he just got out of the way. When you think about the increased unemployment benefits and the eviction moratorium that kept people out of work and flooded the country with all this money, and look where we are right now as a result.
Absolutely, Carly, because Joe Biden's policies have put us where we are today. You know, over the last couple of months, there have been supply chain issues. The job market has been really tricky. It's really hard to get somebody to go to work these days when they're sitting on a bunch of cash that they didn't have a year and a half ago. And suddenly all these people are deciding, you know what, I really don't need to work until that money runs out. And so a lot of the businesses that would love to be open and fully employed simply can't do it. But here's the thing, you know, Jen Psaki told our White House correspondent a couple of days ago, you know, when it comes to the price of, for instance, turkey, I don't know if, she said, Peter Ducey, I don't know if you've ever cooked a turkey, but a turkey's only $1 more. But when, you know, having gone to the grocery store a couple of times this week, it's not just the turkey is $1 more. And trust me, our turkey was more than $1 more. But it's the, you know, everything for the pumpkin pie was a couple of bucks more. The green bean casserole, a couple of bucks more. The sweet potatoes, the yams, you name it, across the board. You want the store-bought gravy? It's $3 more than it was last year.
Yeah. Steve, are you sitting down because our turkey weighed 17 pounds, 3 ounces, and it cost $132?
That is outrageous.
What is that?
That is outrageous.
What is that turkey made out of?
Are there diamond earrings?
Is it made of unicorn meat?
We went to a local butcher. I was like, I didn't even know what to say when they rang me up at the till.
Jillian, do you go to the Gucci grocery store? Because I've never heard of a $175 turkey.
No, $132.
Wow.
Steve.
God bless that. That's better. Well, Jillian, I hope it was all dark meat, because that's the best kind.
You know, sorry to interrupt. I just had to share that with you guys.
Listen, Jillian, first of all, I'm so glad to see you back on TV. Your baby is so adorable, I could scream. President Biden did make a speech earlier this week, and his message on the economy was, I'm on it. I got it. Don't worry. When it comes to the rising gas prices, we're going to unleash 50 million gallons of gas from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And when it comes to the supply chain issues, ports are going to be open 24/7. The problem is that neither of those things really address the issue. And the bigger problem for him is I don't think he has said anything that has.
Look, lots of challenges all around, right, for the American people and for the administration here. One of the big challenges for the president's agenda is that his two biggest achievements so far, right, the infrastructure bill and then Build Back Better, if he can get it passed through the Senate, is that these achievements are what Bill McGurn from the Wall Street Journal described the other day as Washington achievements, meaning they have been covered, you know, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by all the major outlets. The people that they are intended to serve are not going to reap the benefits of these bills for months, probably even years to come. This is especially true for things like subsidized child care, for things like universal pre-K. This stuff doesn't just pop into place the second legislation is passed. We have to build that in this country because it's not in place. So he's not even going to necessarily incur the political benefits from these two huge achievements coming up in the midterms just a year away.
No, that's such a good point. Morgan, you obviously worked in the previous administration, not on the economic front, but you're an all-around smart person. So do you have any idea of how to make things better? how to make things better on an economic front, or just take a stab at this topic in any way you want.
Well, I think that it's looking at what the average American is going through and really having some empathy for it. I mean, we saw the same sort of attitude in Afghanistan, which is, we're getting out no matter what, we don't care. And now we're seeing high rates of suicide amongst our veterans and especially amongst our special forces. And so I think instead of sort of rolling your eyes about the turkey being more or the mashed potatoes being more, understand that whenever you're living paycheck to paycheck and whenever child care expenses are going up and when groceries are going up, that means a lot to families. And sometimes maybe the administration can't fix everything, but I think having some empathy for what families are going through, especially the many single parents around the country, that would go a long way. And you have to be realistic about the problem. People aren't stupid. So they were first told inflation wasn't real, then they were told inflation was transitory, and then finally now they're being told inflation is good for them. Well, I think the American people are pretty smart people, and they understand what the high cost of gas and food and things in their everyday life, what that means. So you can make the case to the American people that the infrastructure bill and that Build Back Better and that all these things are actually in their best interest if you don't talk down to them and pretend that they're like stupid and that they don't understand what inflation is. They get it. They check it out at the grocery store. They get it.
And Margaret, I'm so glad that you said that, because Dr. Sapphire, President Biden posted a tweet, and part of the tweet says, "We also passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, which is going to make it easier for businesses to move goods and reach more customers than ever before. My Build Back Better Act will go even further. I'm looking forward to shopping small tomorrow, and I hope you are too." The Small Business Saturday thing, very good message. But Build Back Better, I mean, the other side of the aisle is saying, listen, if that passes, inflation gets even worse.
Well, Carly, we can build back better, but build back better with what? We're not going to have anything. And when he keeps saying that America is back, well, this is not the America that most people remember. And I can tell you, it's probably not the one that most people want. Your turkey's more expensive. Your gas to cook your turkey is more expensive. You have people who aren't going to the hospital to receive antibody therapy for COVID because the deductibles are so high through the Affordable Care Act that they're not going and getting the treatment, which leads them to be hospitalized. There are a lot of things that are costing a lot of money right now. So when you have the condescension of Jen Psaki and other people laughing it off, oh, Peter, it's only $1 more. Well, I'm sorry, but we're not sitting at billionaire compounds like some other people are. And that single dollar is a lot when it comes to a lot of people. It could be life or death for some people because they're putting away as much as they possibly can. So if someone does get sick, they can't afford it. So the condescension that is coming out of the administration has to go. As Morgan puts it, they need to start relating with the average American, the real world that the rest of us live in. Yeah,
or Jennifer Granholm laughing off a solution to the rising cost of oil and gas when just a couple months ago we were energy independent.